Hello, Mr. DeGrand here. We got section 4, transport and cells, notes, still talking about cell structure and function. Two ways that things can move in and out of the cell. One way is passive transport. That's the movement of molecules, ions, or other substances across the cell's semi-permeable membrane. Molecules move from areas of high to low concentration. We've talked about this in class with diffusion and osmosis. Thinking about the two labs that we did, the artificial cell lab and also the potato lab, we saw the diffusion of salt across the artificial cell membrane and into the cup, and we tested that with silver nitrate. Then we also saw osmosis as water moved from a higher concentration in the cup to inside of the cell where there was a lower concentration of water. We were also able to see this with our potato lab with the different concentration cups where either water moved into our potatoes or it moved out of the potatoes. And that all depended on the sucrose concentration. So in passive transport, there is no extra energy that is needed. Uh, Things just move from down the concentration gradient. You can think of like this example here with the slide. We're moving down the gradient here, and it doesn't require any energy to go down the slide. The way this happens in a cell requires proteins, either protein channels like this one here, and or these carrier proteins here. And some substances are just too big and can't diffuse across the phospholipid bilayer. That's this here, that's the bilayer. And so in order for these things to move into or out of the cell, they require these proteins here to allow it to move into or out of the cell. Facilitated diffusion. Here's where we'd have different proteins that are going to help or facilitate the movement of substances across the cell's membrane. Things like ions, polar molecules, carbohydrates, larger molecules will move from high to low energy, where no high to low concentration, where no extra energy is needed. But a transport protein is required for some of these larger things to move across the membrane. Active transport. So this is what would require some energy. And so this would be like going up the slide. It requires energy to go up the slide. And so this is where you're moving from areas of a low concentration to areas of high concentration. And you need some energy to be able to do that. And this is where ATP comes in. We haven't quite talked about ATP yet, adenosine triphosphate. But this is where we would use some extra energy to move things either into or out of the cell. And then there is bulk transport, which is a type of active transport. So endocytosis, this is a large amount of material moving into the cell. The cell closes off, creating a vesicle, and then moving this vesicle into the cell and to wherever it needs to go inside of the cell. And so this would be an example of the cell. And I'm not going to show the video. You can watch this on your own if you'd like. But this would be an example of the cell kind of pinching off some material here and then allowing it to, go inside of the cell. And an amoeba is a single cellular organism. And so this is how it would eat. Exocytosis, and so this is what gets rid of the waste material inside of the cell, packages up into a vesicle. That vesicle then moves out toward the cell membrane, and then the cell membrane opens up, allowing that material then to move out of the cell. And so this is how things like the lysosomes in our cells, they clean things up and then they package that stuff into vesicles. The vesicles then move to the cell membranes, and the cell membranes open up and allow those things to leave. So another example here of exocytosis. Again, I won't show this at the moment, but I will allow you to watch this if you would like to on your own time. So those are our notes on bulk transport, and there are the slides here that will go with this. Have a great rest of your day.